Hello and welcome to another session of Business Chat with me, Glenys Chatterley from Effective Business Network, which, as you may know, is known as EBN. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, I'm going to talk about networking and a networking strategy. It's beginning of the year as I record this, and it might be that you have been thinking about or are thinking about your marketing and how you're going to get more business in this new year. It might be that you're new to networking and have not yet put together a networking strategy. So what is networking? Well, I always define it as if you're not talking to yourself, then you're networking. And at the moment, I'm talking to myself, but hopefully I'm being listened and watched by people at some point when I actually put it onto YouTube. And so then I'll be networking. What is a networking strategy and why should you have one? Well, a networking strategy is something that you write down. It can be on a file, a piece of paper, on your phone, fag packet, whatever it is you want to use, but you should have a strategy. It can be quite expensive. So you would always have some sort of strategy for anything that's going to cost you money in a business, in my opinion. And so you should be having a strategy. So what does it involve? And the important thing you need to know is that as a business owner, you can ignore everything I say. That's the plus. People tell you stuff, you choose whether it's useful for you at the moment or at all. So a networking strategy, it should include 3 types of networking. The first type is the cheap and free type, the ones which you may buy yourself with coffee or a drink, or you may not have to spend anything. There may even be some refreshments involved, but they're not going to cost you much in actual money. So the reason you would do some of those is because that is those types of ones. Some people only go to those types of ones, and I'll say why that's important in a minute. The next one are the ones which, if you did it every day or every week, it would be an expensive part of your marketing. So these might be, and I'm talking UK currency, so these may be, say, 30 quid or a plus tax on top to attend. And it may then cost you some money when you get there because you may have to buy some drinks. So there's a cost, and it's not just a couple of quid, sorry, a couple of pounds. So you should do some of those because some people only do that type. They've obviously not listened to this recording. And then there's the third type, and the third type is membership. So I would be saying that, wouldn't I? My company is a membership organisation. But the reason you should do some of that, and of course I hope it's going to be with EBN, but if it's something else, that's fine as well. There's loads of other good ones around. The reason you should be doing some of that type is because when I meet people and they say, I don't join anything, what I hear is you are a butterfly. You're not in it for anything you can give. What you're in it is for what you can get. And that's not sustainable, in my opinion. What you need in networking is to build relationships, and that'll be subject of another video at some point. So you've got your 3 types. Let me put a cost on each of those. So it might be that the first one, we do at EBN every 2 weeks, an afternoon virtual session for a couple of hours. If you're a member, it's free. If you're not a member, it's £5 plus the admin cost. So about £6. And different people come to that. The more expensive ones, every couple of months, I run thing called EBN Diamond. And what that is over a meal and a glass of wine, 12 of us sit round, and we don't talk about the challenges of business. We talk about what are our current challenges. And that's at the moment £65 to attend. So if you did that every week or every day, that would be expensive. And you'd also gain some weight and possibly some other issues, because you're going to be eating a 3-course meal. But it's worth doing. And I'm not just saying hours are worth doing, I'm saying that type of thing is worth doing. And then there's membership. And membership of EBN, you join at one group, some people join several groups, some companies join several groups, and there is a cost in that. If you need to know the details of that, just get in touch. So the reason you should do all three as a strong networker is because some people, as I say, who haven't heard this video, don't actually do anything other than that thing, that bit that they do. They do the cheap and free. They do I only do the expensive one every month, or they do the membership one. But if some people only do the, say, cheap and free, and they are potentially people you would want to talk to, you're missing a trick if you don't go and start to build the relationships. So talked about the types. Also, you need to have, as I said at the beginning, you need to have a policy. You need to review it. It's like any policy. Put a review date on it and put it in your diary and go and review it. The first bit of reviewing is dead easy, and that's the pound sign and any other currency. It's how much have I spent and how much have I made? That's a really easy one. Include your petrol money for going to events, your perhaps I don't know, some people may add their suits because they dress in a different way for that networking and they would never wear that anywhere else. So that might be a cost. There may be a cost for being there. So all of that needs to be put together. And then you say, and how much did I make? And that's an easy one. What does your book say? How much have you made in that for networking? The other bit, though, is more tenuous, more difficult to define. I'm not sure tenuous is the right word, but I'll use it for now. But more difficult to define. And that is, I bring it under the phrase of, is it worth it? And because when you go networking, you build relationships. And as I say, I'll be talking more about that probably in my next video. But you also get people who know stuff, who can tell you things that you don't necessarily know, but need to know as a business owner. So, for example, I was recently at a networking event where somebody said, of course, remember that when you're doing your contracts, if you're doing them internationally, you need to define in your contracts that your terms and conditions are based on English law, UK law, whichever one is appropriate. So don't just think that what you're going for to network is to get work. You get people, suppliers, you get to know suppliers who provide stuff, which means that you don't have to think about that thing and you can get on with running your business and actually building your business and doing the work that needs to be done to do that. So networking is about making sure that you have a strategy. First step, before you even put a date in your diary. What I would like to do is to offer you some more help. There are some downloadable hints and tips, my top 20. You can find them at www.ebn.uk.com. So if you want, please feel free. For now, if you'd like to subscribe, please do that. Tell your friends, even if it's just as this strange woman who sits and talks. Not the worst I've been called. And for now, thank you for watching or listening, whichever one you're going for. I wish you every success with your networking. And if I can help you in any way, please add something to the comments and come back next week when I'll have some more of either me or somebody who will be telling us about their specialism.